Welcome to Cheeley Law Review. My name is Ben Burnett. My guest today is Robyn Carmichael, the paralegal for the Cheeley Law Group. Welcome, Robyn.
Thank you for having me.
I know you were an avid podcast listener. Is this like a dream come true for you?
This is a dream come true for me.
Talk to me about your education growing up, who you are.
I graduated from University of Georgia in 1981 with a degree in journalism. I went into real estate after that. Couldn't get a job in journalism. And
That's still hard, by the way.
it is hard. I wanted to be a sports caster. And back then there were no women doing that. And I was on the track team at University of Georgia with Herschel Walker and his sister. And I was a sprinter.
Were you faster than Herschel?
No, I was not faster than Herschel. There's not many people that are faster than Herschel. His sister was pretty quick, too. I handed the baton off to her in the 4x1 relay.
That's probably something that not a lot of people know.
That's right. I did that and got married right out of college, had a few children, and decided I wanted to get into the legal profession. And I started working for a firm here in Atlanta, and right after that I got into paralegal school. And so with a full-time job and 2 children and one on the way, I went to paralegal school.
No time like the present.
No time like the present. That's why God made you young to do all this stuff. It only took a year, so I got my paralegal degree, straight A's I might add, and I started working in a law firm, and the rest is history.
What pulled at you from the legal vocation in general first?
Well, I started work at the law firm before I realized I wanted to become a paralegal. I started as an admin person, and I got really interested in it real quick. I picked up on it really quick, especially the part of law that we were doing, which was bankruptcy and collection law. It just sparked my interest immediately, and I knew that in order to be successful, I needed to go ahead and go to school and get my certificate. So with a paralegal certificate, there's two routes you can go. You can get your paralegal certificate, which means you attended 12 classes in different areas of law, or you can now get an associate's degree in paralegal studies. And now they have a test you can take to become a certified paralegal, where you can actually put initials after your name. And you have to take continuing legal education, just like a lawyer does if you're a CP. So I never pursued that because I didn't need it. Just started working as a paralegal and got involved in litigation, personal injury law, which is my love. I was in insurance defense before.
Well, you've seen both.
Yeah.
Does that make you more effective in your day-to-day, is knowing how that industry thinks versus how your plaintiffs' lawyers think? Is that helpful? Do you guys have roundtable discussions about, well, this is what they're going to look at, this is what they're going to look at?
That is exactly what we talk about, because a lot of us have been on the dark side. We know where they're coming from. And we have many discussions here at the firm about different insurance companies and how they treat claims. Some insurance companies have a very bad reputation making low offers on their claims. Thus, we have to end up filing a lawsuit, our client, to recover what we feel like their case is worth.
What do you enjoy the most about paralegal in your role today?
You have to be able to multitask to be a paralegal, and it just seems like I get things thrown at me from all different angles throughout the day, and I can usually land on my feet pretty good and get everybody the answers that they need. Insurance law is not anything that they teach in law school or in paralegal school.
Trial by fire?
Trial by fire. So everybody's learning, and the insurance laws are crazy, seem to be in favor of the defense. But anyway, and Georgia has pretty good personal injury laws. Different states have different statutes and different things that they require, but I guess that all the attorneys that I work with depend on me.
Big time.
But they know that I'm going to get the job done. They don't have to remind me because I'm very meticulous note taker, and I'm a taskmaster.
When you look here specifically at the Cheeley Law Group, talk about the types of things that you do in the discovery process, what role the paralegals play here, and how you're dependent on.
Well, there's 2 parts to discovery. The first is the deposition. And so I'm just responsible for reaching out to all the parties and gathering dates that everyone's available, getting it scheduled, getting a court reporter scheduled, and getting a videographer scheduled. Then I have to follow up to make sure everybody's going to show up. The written discovery part is a little more intense. You might get 30 some odd questions that they want you to answer in very detailed form. You have to extract that information out of your client. And so I work really closely with the attorneys to get that information for them. There's some things that I get and fill in the blanks on, some things that the attorneys meet with the clients to get the information on, little deeper questions that they might ask. But gathering all that information up and getting it in a document and getting that document filed with the court is a task. At first, the clients are like, no, I don't know how to answer any of this. And it just scares them when they first see it. But we're like, you can help us. Just relax. We'll handle all the legal. Just give us the meat of what they're looking for, and we'll make it sound good.
On any given day, how many cases will you take a look at?
Some days I spend the whole day on one, but that's rare. I would say 5 to 10 a day need my attention. Either I have to respond to an email or a phone call or answer a question for somebody.
And some of those cases are years out in the future.
Yes.
Having worked at other places and working here, knowing that Cheeley Law Group is a boutique firm that passes on opportunities. I won't say all the time, but you're not the right fit for everybody.
Right.
Talk about the clients who have a legitimate gripe that you and the firm like to work on behalf of.
Typically, because of the type firm that we are, Bob Cheeley has a big heart. If it's somebody he knows that says, can you help my friend, then he's going to do it. We do try to help everybody. A lot of our cases are big time, big name cases, very media driven. Everybody wants to know what we're doing, always calling the firm, wanting a status update on some of our cases. And that's the exciting part of it, is to work on the big cases. At the same time, when you can help the small guy out that maybe has never been in a car wreck, doesn't know how to deal with just his property damage claim.
And I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I venture to guess that 95% of people would be, I would be calling this office, and it would be the first time I'd ever made a phone call like that. And I'm probably not the exception to that rule.
No, you just don't know. I mean, the insurance company, I always tell people this, it's the adjuster's job to not pay you money. They don't want to pay you any money. So they're going to lowball everything at first, and you got to learn how to be a negotiator and how to prove your car is worth more than they say it's worth, just for your property damage. And then there's the bodily injury. Most people that are in small car wrecks, they think, oh, I'm not hurt. I might have been hit from behind.
Well, and they don't want to be, most people don't want to be a burden on the system.
No, they don't. They don't, oh, I'm fine. I don't need to go to the emergency room. I'm fine. I don't need to see my doctor. And then a few days in, they're so stiff they can't move their head or their neck. Their back's bothering them. That's one of the difficult things here, is to make certain clients realize you might really be hurt. And
medical attention is probably more often than not the right first step for someone to take.
I 100% think that it is.
Let's assume that that's you. What is the advice or the process that you would tell someone who would see themselves as a burden on the system and they don't want to be that guy? What are the first few things that you should do if that's you, or your family or your loved one?
My first advice is to go to the ER. Go to the ER. They will x-ray you for broken bones. They will get a lab workup on you. You'll be physically examined. Now, they're probably going to send you home with some walking papers and tell you to go see an orthopedic doctor or a chiropractor. But go to the ER, because you don't ever know. And a lot of times the ER will even miss broken bones, because they'll say you broke your wrist and it swells up. Well, sometimes the broken bone doesn't show up on the x-ray the first time. So you need to go and get x-rayed, and you need to pay close attention to anything that continues to be sharp pain, because it could be an underlying broken bone you're not aware of. As far as a burden on the system, that's what insurance is for. Pay those premiums. The person that hit you, they pay their premiums, hopefully. That's what the insurance is for. We're not funding insurance companies so that they can make billions and billions of dollars. They need to pay out on the claims. Like they say, State Farm is there. They're going to take care of you. You're in good hands. You need to file those claims.
When is the right time to approach a legal practice like Cheeley Law Group in that process?
Let's just give an example. You're at a red light and someone hits you from behind. You exchange insurance information. They get a ticket. 2 days later, you can't move your neck. That would be the time to go to the ER, see what they say, call the lawyer. What are my options? And we're going to tell you, if you're hurting, to seek medical treatment. Always. Because you only get this one chance. If you're going to file a claim, and that's what we do, we will file a claim with the insurance company and try to resolve it that way through some sort of a settlement. If we can't resolve it at the claim level, that's when we would file a lawsuit.
What percentage of the people you talk to are you able to help by claim alone?
Out of, let's say I have 20 cases on my desk, there's probably 6 or 7 that we probably won't have to file a lawsuit. We'll be able to get a good settlement for our client.
So 2/3. Mm-hmm. So hear that at home. Like, they're not always interested in sitting there and taking somebody to a courtroom. You're interested in doing the right thing based on what happens.
Right. But you don't ever want to try to settle your own claim. You want to get a lawyer involved.
How do people get in touch with you here?
770-814-7001.
Robyn Carmichael, thank you for joining me on this episode of the Cheeley Law Review.